What's up, guys? Welcome to Florida Panther Nation, where we talk everything Florida Panthers hockey, the ins, the outs, the goods, the bads. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's show. For today's show, we are going to break down a little bit of the Panthers and Jets game. Then we got the road trip, weekend at Bernie's. Not really weekends at Bernie's. We just got a weekend-long back-to-back road trip. We got to see what the boys are going to be up against and what we should expect from that. Then, of course, we got Seth Jones going to the LTIR. What's going on? What's the details with that one? And then, of course, where's Marshy, right? Where is Brad Marchand? When can we expect him back? Let's go ahead and dive into the first topic. Now, to dive into the Panthers versus Jets game, now, a lot of people, I was looking on Twitter, people were saying this was like a boring, slow game, and I can get it, right? A lot of people want to see a high-scoring game. They want to see more goals quicker, especially in the first period, because you want to see the Panthers get going as they try to push for the playoffs. But it was a heavy defensive game. I think that's what they kind of thought was the game plan. They kept leaving a few extra people back just to protect Tarasov. When it came to the second period, that's when things started heating up. You had Tkachuk pass over for an assist to Sam Bennett for the first goal, which was the only goal for a while, not until kind of mid to end third period. It went to overtime, right? Granted, overtime was fun to watch, but no scoring. Went to a shootout. Then, of course, you had 2 points from Anton Lundell and Sam Reinhart. Now, if you guys stay up with the channel, I posted before the game who's going to get the first goal. It was like Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, Matthew Tkachuk. The odds for Sam Bennett to get the first goal of the game, if you're doing a little gambling on it, was plus 1,000. That would have been a mean line to hit. I didn't bet that, so I can't take credit for it. But I let you guys know those were the top 3 like you could have bet on. If anybody bet Sam Bennett, let me know if you picked him to get the first goal. But again, it was a good game from the guys. I think goalie-wise, we played magnificent, right? He did the job, and it kind of goes into, like, Bob. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't been playing the greatest, so I think giving him a little bit of break, letting Tarasov, get some action, see what he can do might be for the best. Nobody's dismissing Bob or anything like that from my side, at least. I still think he's one of the best, but maybe he needs some rest. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we need a little bit of juice. He went out there and he did that goalie fight, which was insane. He gave you guys a little bit of juice. But this road trip coming up, Tarasov is going to get at least one more shot. Bob's going to get the next one. Now for the weekend road trip, we have back-to-back games this Saturday and Sunday. Saturday versus the Minnesota Wild. Sunday is going to be against the Chicago Blackhawks. I believe Bob Rossi is going to be starting in goalie for the Minnesota Wild game. Again, we got to build some momentum here. I would have loved to see Tarasov go back-to-back, and then Bob take up the Sunday game if that's what it was. But when it comes to this, the Panthers being in the hunt, every game matters, right? So we have to get at minimum 1, but I'd like to see them win back-to-back, build some momentum as they start moving towards the winter break. Now, for some stats about the game in general for the Jets, right? We did have Matthew Tkachuk back, second game in a row for him, and this one he's a little bit more active, right? The first one, he just kind of went out there and did what he needed to do, right? Show that he could be back on the ice. Now for this one, he's a little bit more active. He had an assist, obviously an assist to Sam Bennett for the first goal of the game. He had 3 shots on goal, about 20, almost 21 minutes on the ice. Took 1 hit, 1 block shot. It felt like he was getting a little bit more in rhythm, right? And for me, he took a couple shots, got a little chippy, right? Took a couple penalties. The third period penalty, though, that kind of looked like, hey, it kind of backfired. I think he was doing it intentionally to try and, stir up some drama, maybe get us a good power play, but it kind of backfired, went 4-on-4. But again, I do think from the first game, everybody was saying it didn't really make that big of a difference. But I do think him being back in the second game, getting a little bit more in rhythm, it really did help the Panthers get that win, in my opinion. So it'll be exciting to see if he continues to progress and get better as the season goes on, because that's what we need. With all the injuries, for this part of the season, we need every player to be making a difference. And, of course, speaking of injuries, Seth Jones was just announced that he is going on the LTIR, the long-term injured reserves. Now, if you're living under a rock and don't really know what's going on with Seth Jones, in the Winter Classic, he took like a mean puck to the throat, neck area, right? And when watching it, you didn't really think it was going to be that impactful. He left the game, he didn't return. And when it came to, announcements after the game and weeks, they were saying he's week to week, he's day to day. and nobody really thought he was going to be out for a long period of time up until the announcement recently saying they're going to put him on the long-term reserves. What to expect from that. It must be more serious than they kind of led on to believe. But for me, that's just another person in the injury category that it just kind of stings, right? We just got Tkachuk back, and now we lose Jones. You know what I mean? So hopefully Brad Marchand can come back soon, because this one's tough. It sucks for Seth Jones, though, because he was replaced for the U.S. Team Olympics team. It kind of sucks. What's also crazy is Seth Jones was like our leading defenseman this season up to this point. Stats are right here. 40 games played, 6 goals, 18 assists. He basically took part in 24 points. It's a sting for sure, but hopefully he's going to be able to come back after the winter break and maybe, be in time for us to potentially make a little playoff push. But just to be clear, there is nothing on his return yet. If there is and they announce it soon, then great. I'll let you know here. But in the meantime, out indefinitely with collar injury. Now, where is Brad Marchand? Brad Marchand's been out since the January 6th game against the Maple Leafs. Apparently, he was taking some hits. They took him out as precaution, and then he's been day-to-day ever since. Now, Paul Maurice has just recently said that he is nearing a return. He is practicing in a non-contact jersey, so it is looking hopeful he'll be back pretty soon. They did not give an exact date or when or any of that kind of stuff, but if I had to guess, he should be back for probably the second game of this road trip. To me, he's one of the key guys. Paul Maurice was also saying before that they were playing him way too much, trying to make up for all the lost players in the lineup just from the injuries. For him to be missing games, he's kind of a key piece right now for us to have a chance at getting into the playoffs. So hopefully he's back sooner rather than later, but only time will tell. That is it for today's show. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Panthers news, updates, all that jazz. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you on the other side. Go Cats.